You. So, good afternoon, everyone. We'll start the lecture na since meron kasi akong meeting around 4 o'clock. So, we'll try to comprise everything. If not, we'll continue next meeting naman because we have allotted time naman for the lecture. So, 2 hours naman tayo next meeting. So, if ever na medyo may questions kayo, we could answer it. Pwede natin balikan next meeting or balikan natin ngayon. Wala namang problem. So, we'll start na siguro. Academic is, kasama ba kayo sa? Academic is ba kayo sa next week? Hello?
Yes po. Opo.
Included. Okay, okay. Meron pa kasi kami isang topic eh. Sige. If ever, we'll post a recorded lecture na lang siguro for that part. Kung okay lang sa inyo. Okay lang ba sa inyo? O ganun?
Yes, Doc. Thank you po.
Sige. Para ano. Tanong ko din sa radiology resident coordinator namin. Kasi we're expecting na may lecture pa next week. Pero if that's the case, that's your academic is, tanong ko rin sa department chair namin. We'll have to collate siguro to produce a asynchronous lecture for everyone since that's your academic is. Confirm ko muna ha. Baka mag-expect kayo. Pero again, confirm ko muna. Sige. Let's start. So we have what we call as your chest pathology. So remember you have discussed previously yung mga introduction to your chest imaging. Alam niyo na yun, di ba? Yung mga na-discuss na sa inyo before yung densities, yung mga opacities natin, di ba? Yung mga reticular pattern and so on. So now this will be more specific. So we're going to discuss yung mga part 1 natin is more of your inflammatory or infectious processes that commonly seen in common infectious and inflammatory processes. The part 2 natin is more of your neoplasm. So let's first discuss. So the most common chest pathology is of course, your pneumonia. So pneumonia is a microorganism that enters the lung through your three potential routes. We have your trachobronchial tree, the pulmonary vasculatures, and your direct spread. So the patterns for your pneumonia will have the following. It is the most common pa lang ha. The most common na lang yung discuss ko. We have your lobar pneumonia, the bronchopneumonia, and your interstitial pneumonia. When you speak of your lobar pneumonia, typically it is caused by your pneumococcal pulmonary infection. And it's caused by inflammatory exudates that begins with the distal air spaces. You will always appreciate that the airways are usually spared in your lobar pneumonia. So because of that, you will appreciate that the areas that being occupied by the opacities are your air alveoli. Yung airways natin, they are usually spared, and that's what we call as your air bronchogram sign. So air bronchogram sign, for a nice to know sign, is that it is a air branching lucencies in an opacified area. So yun yung sinasabi natin na air bronchogram. So katulad in this image, you will appreciate that there are regions, the whole area, lobar region, is being occupied or being wiped out. However, you will appreciate that there are branching lucencies seen within. This is what we call as your lobar air bronchogram sign that is commonly being appreciated in your lobar pneumonia. These are two examples of your lobar pneumonia seen in your left lower lung, particularly in the anterior segment. And this is you're taken in your left right middle lobe. You will appreciate an opacified region with branching lucencies. So this is what we call as your lobar pneumonia. In cases of your staphylococcal infection, the most common pattern is what we call as your bronchopneumonia. It is the most common pattern na nakikita natin. Early stages of inflammation is centered primarily in and around the lobar bronchi. and your exudates fluid extends peripherally along the bronchus to improve the entire pulmonary lobule. The radiographic features for your bronchopneumonia includes your multifocal opacities, which is a patchwork quilt appearance with absence of your air bronchogram. So this is an example of your patchwork quilt appearance. In your lobar pneumonia, as seen earlier, you will appreciate your branching lucencies, or what we call as your air bronchogram. In this case, it will be difficult for you to appreciate your air bronchogram because, like I said earlier, ang naapektuhan na niya is your primary in and around the lobar bronchi. So within the region siya ng bronchus. Kaya siya tinawag na bronchopneumonia. On the other hand, we have what we call as our interstitial pneumonia. So the difference between your interstitial pneumonia in comparison to the bronchopneumonia and your lobar pneumonia, it is seen in viral and mycoplasmal infection. Remember your airspace alveolar diseases. So the opacified regions for your bronchopneumonia and your lobar pneumonia is within the alveolus. Wait lang . Okay, so in your interstitial pneumonia, the one thing that we're looking for is the inflammatory thickening of the bronchial and the bronchiolar walls and the pulmonary interstitium. Therefore, yung nagtitiken sa kanya is your inflammatory, yung bronchus. Hindi yung air spaces, hindi yung alveoli, which is seen in your interstitium or your bronchus. So the radiographic pattern for your interstitial pneumonia includes airway thickening and your reticulonodular opacities, as seen in this image. So this is an example of what we call as your interstitial pneumonia. Remember, in your interstitial pneumonia, it is most commonly seen in your viral infections. So pag may nakita kang interstitial pneumonia, isipin mo na baka viral. Viral lang siya. But again, the viral pneumonia may progress and becomes a bacterial pneumonia causing your lobar or even your bronchopneumonial pattern. So unlike in your bronchopneumonia, lobar pneumonia, it will be difficult for you to change it to your interstitial pneumonia. Parang sinabi mo na for bacterial, magiging viral. Hindi po ganun. Pero yung viral to bacterial, there's a possibility for that to happen. Next, we have what we call as your pulmonary tuberculosis. So from pneumonia, we'll go to your pulmonary tuberculosis. So for your pulmonary tuberculosis, it is caused by your Mycobacterium tuberculosis, an aerobic acid fast bacillus that involves your cell-mediated immunity, or what we call as your delayed hypersensitivity. There are two principal forms of your pulmonary tuberculosis, namely your primary tuberculosis and your reactivation or your post-primary diseases. For your primary tuberculosis, it is classically a disease of a childhood with what we call as your Ranke's complex, a calcified bronchial focus, yung may Gons lesion, and a nodal calcification. So that's your Ranke complex. Usually, nakikita natin siya in your primary tuberculosis. But the most common patterns are your non-specific focal pneumonitis, mga small ill-defined areas of segmental lobar opacification, and even your unilateral and bilateral hilar mediastinal lymph node enlargement. So this is an example of what we call as non-specific focal pneumonitis. Then meron pa tayong thicken or enlargement of the hilar lymph nodes. So this is your hilar enlargement. So these are the signs for primary tuberculosis. In case of your post-primary tuberculosis, it tends to occur in the apical and the posterior segments of the upper lobes and the superior segments of the lower lobes as ill-defined patchy and nodular opacities, as seen in this image. You will appreciate it in your upper lobes. If there's progression of your post-primary tuberculosis, meaning late na natin nalaman na may TB, hindi siya nagamutan, there's a possibility that it may progress to your cavitation. So you will appreciate that there is a thickened, well circumscribed lesion appreciated within the upper lobes with central lucency and thickened rim opacity. That's your cavitation, as seen in this image, pointed in this image. So that's your thickened cavity. It may also lead to a multifocal bronchopneumonia. So what we call as your endobronchial spread. So, kunyari may nakita ka ng cavitation, look for the lower lobes. Baka nagpa-progress na yung pneumonia, pumupunta na siya sa ilalim. So, these are examples of your cavitations. In cases of your healed tuberculosis, what we have is your parenchymal healing. It is associated with your fibrosis, bronchiectasis, and your volume loss or your in the upper lobes, or what we call as your cicatricial atelectasis. So, kunwari, gumaling naman yung pulmonary tuberculosis, if medyo severe na yung nahagapan natin, it may cause cicatricial atelectasis to the patient. If medyo maaga-aga pa, fibrosis lang siya. So, this case is more of your bronchiectasis because late na natin siya na-diagnose, late na siya na gawa ng treatment. Then the parenchymal healing causes destructions of the lobes or the regions of the lung parenchyma, causing what we call as your bronchiectasis. Due to the traction of the lung parenchyma to the upper lobes caused by your fibrotic residuals of the pulmonary tuberculosis, we have also associated a volume loss of the lung parenchyma as seen in the right hemitor, as seen in this right lung. So another example showing your cicatricial atelectasis with areas of fibrosis and bronchiectatic changes appreciated in both upper lobes doing retraction on the whole lung parenchyma. In clinical presentation for your pulmonary tuberculosis, remember there's a presence of your hemoptysis. So this is caused by your Rassmann's aneurysm. So the Rassmann's aneurysm is erosion of the cavitary focus into the branch of your pulmonary artery, and that can produce aneurysm and cause your hemoptysis as seen in this image. So if you see this Rassmann aneurysm that is seen in a 3D reconstruction via your CT scan, ito yung nag-erode na cavitary focus, then it can cause your hemoptysis. Another specific example for your miliary TB naman, for your pattern for tuberculosis is your miliary TB. It results from your hematogenous dissemination of your tubercle bacilli, and it produces diffuse bilateral 2 to 3 millimeter pulmonary nodules, as seen in these images. So may mga maliliit, diffuse na maliliit na nodule seen along the lung parenchyma. So that's it for your tuberculosis. Now let's go to another infection with what we call as your Aspergillus infection. So Aspergillus infection is responsible for a spectrum of your pulmonary diseases, which includes an aspergilloma or mycetoma formation within the pre-existing cavities. So we have what we call as your aspergilloma or your fungus ball, which is composed of a ball of hyphae, mucus, and cellular debris that colonize a pre-existing bulla or parenchymal cavity created by some other pathogen or this destructive process. So the common radiographic finding for your aspergilloma includes progressive apical pleural thickening adjacent to a cavity. So this is an example of a cavity with a thick walled rim opacity together with a lucency and central opacities. So this is an example of your aspergilloma. In patients with asthma, it is an airway disorder characterized by rapid onset of bronchial narrowing with spontaneous resolution or improvement as a result of therapy. Remember your good inspiration. So for a good inspiration in a good radiograph, the diaphragm should be seen below the 10th posterior rib. In cases of your asthmatic patients, you will appreciate that the diaphragm is seen along the 11th or 12th posterior rib. So pag ganun, mag-consider ka na ng hyperinflated lung, probably caused by your asthma. So again, the radiographic findings for asthma includes your hyperinflation. I said earlier, you will appreciate the bronchial wall inflammation or thickening. Medyo may thickening doon sa may peribronchial region or what we call as your peribronchial coughing and tramtacking. And there's prominence of the hilum. So these are the following signs for what we call as your radiographic signs rather for your asthma. Next pathology is what we call as your emphysema. So emphysema is defined as abnormal permanent enlargement of your airspace distal to the terminal bronchial, accompanied by the destruction of your alveolar walls and without obvious fibrosis. The most important plain radiographic finding for emphysematous patients is your hyperinflation. These are the following radiographic findings in your emphysema. So you may appreciate diffuse hyperlucency or in a panlobular appearance of your panlobular lucencies, which is caused by destruction of your pulmonary capillary bed and alveolar septa. You may also appreciate flattening and depression of the hemidiaphragm, which may caused by causing increased retrosternal airspace from your panlobular go greater than your centrilobular region. So this is caused by your hyperinflation caused by loss of elastic recoil of the lung. Presence of bullae, as seen in this image, ito, yung parang thin-walled lucencies, is caused by your thin-walled region of confluent emphysematous destructions. You may also appreciate enlarged central pulmonary arteries, as seen in this image, which is together with right heart enlargement, or seen in the centrolobular region. This is caused by your loss of pulmonary capillary bed with associated chronic hypoxemia caused by increased pulmonary vascular resistance. There is likewise increased peripheral vascular breakings that may be caused by your small airway diseases and increased pulmonary vascularities. So this is an example of what we call as your emphysematous changes. So these are diseases naman that can be seen in the neonate. One of which is what we call as your surfactant deficiency disease. In your surfactant deficiency disease, it is the absence of your surfactant that leads to increased alveolar surface tension, lessened alveolar distensibility, and persistent collapse or atelectasis of the alveoli. The most common predisposing factor for surfactant deficiency disease is prematurity. So remember, for your maturity or the term babies, it is seen around 38 to 40 year age of gestation. Pag sinabi natin prematurity, it's beyond that. So below that. So mga 34, 33, 32. Ayan. Kapag may mga ganun na newborn, preterm babies na pinanganak, expect that it may cause or may have your surfactant deficiency disease. So it can also be seen in patients or infants who were born from diabetic mothers. So they are also prone to the development of your surfactant deficiency disease. The classic radiographic findings for your surfactant deficiency disease is that there is a pronounced under-aeration leading to small lung volume. Remember, sinabi natin before sa asthma, hyperinflation. Pag sinabi natin hyperinflation, it is below the 10th posterior rib, medyo widen yung lung parenchyma. In your under-aeration, hypoinflation siya. Ibig sabihin, mas maliit yung sakop ng lung parenchyma. You may also appreciate the fine granular appearance of the pulmonary parenchyma, which is seen as a ground glass appearance. And there is peripherally extending air bronchogram, which is characteristic finding for your surfactant deficiency disease. Another neonatal disease is what we call as your transient tachypnea of the newborn, or the wet lung disease. It is or your neonatal retain fluid syndrome, or the hyaline membrane disease. So yun yung mga samples natin for TTN. It represents a problem of the clearance of the fluid from the newborn infant lung. So there's an increased incidence for TTN in patients who are delivered via cesarean section. Remember, in a normal delivery kasi, it helps the lung, during the normal delivery kasi, it helps the child to release yung mga fluids natin through the normal delivery. It will be better be discussed in your OB rotation or your OB subjects. But nonetheless, if it's delivered via cesarean section, they are prone to have your TTN. Wait lang po. Okay. So the resolution usually occurs before 48 hours. So the radiologic findings for your TTN includes symmetrical parahilar radiating congestion, There's a mild to moderate over-aeration of the lungs. So remember, for your surfactant deficiency disease, there's hypo-aeration. In your TTN, there's mild to moderate over-aeration or hyper-aeration. There's occasional pleural effusion. There's a variety of patterns of intraalveolar fluid. And there are cases of reticulonodular and sticky infiltrates and may present with generalized homogeneous hastiness or your granularity. So these are examples or the findings that being seen in your TTN. Any questions? If none, sadly, we'll have my meeting is around 3:30. I'll post a video lecture on the second part na lang on your pulmonary neoplasm. If you have any questions regarding our topics, especially for the chest pathology one, please message your radiology coordinator and I'll answer every question that you raise para mapaliwanag. Okay? Kasi medyo may academic is na yata kayo next week. So if ever, you could i-contact naman our coordinator so that I could explain it furthermore if you have any questions. But I'll post the second part of the lecture, the chest pathology 2 for pulmonary neoplasm video lecture, as well as your si Dr. Martinez Palenco or sige. And I'll ask pa rin regarding the last topic if it's okay for us to post an asynchronous lecture. So parang medyo hindi naman mabigat sa inyo pa rin. Okay? Sige. Any questions? If none, thank you for attending this lecture. So, thank